Power, peace, and power. Peace and power to the people that struggle. I think the absolute truth and the universal laws of nature. The universal laws of nature and the absolute truth for protecting me, guiding me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. As you come on in, know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space for learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space for educating and being educated. Know this is a space for conversation, comments and concerns, dialogue. This is your space, a space of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Love, hella right. This is a space. This is a space of integrity. A space where we speak truth to power. Your space. The space where we are working on a united path towards true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, come on in, come on in. Please keep all contact information in the chat for the duration and throughout the class. Please keep all funding information. Hashtags and green screens. Unions that go west. Grams that turn into money. Tides and good wishes. Yeah, keep all that information in the chat for the duration and throughout the class. Fund the war effort. We are at war. If you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until the smoke coming out your ears and you running down the block with spears and stuff. No, don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait until you cuffed up on a hot roof of a Chevy or some other American-made law enforcement vehicle. No, don't wait till too late then. Yeah. If you or anybody you know is in need of a domestic violence intervention, please book an assessment. Stop cutting up in front of them children. Stop getting that itchy trigger finger cousin agitated. Cut it out. Book an assessment. If you or anybody you know is in need of an intimate relationship abuse counseling and consultation, book an assessment. Learn the warning signs, the behaviors that should alarm you, characters and characteristics that should heighten your awareness. Man, people, places, events that you really need to be alerted by. Remember, with the information, that life you save could be your own. Peace and power, what's going on? How you do, how you do, how you do. Yeah, Sunday edition. Yes. Quite a few people to tag. Black women, where you at? Tag all of your queen comrades. Yeah. It's an attack on black men. Been there. Always been there. It's been there. Now, it's turned up a little notch, as they always do in war. Think tanks, propaganda machines, and straight out overt attacks on the physical and the mental of black men. Maybe you participating in it indirectly. Maybe you're directly participating in it because you got some type of trauma that need to be addressed. So tag all your girlfriends, your sisters, Yeah, your daughters, your nieces, tag them, they need to come to class. While you at it, somebody tag DoeChii. Yeah, come to class. Please, come to class, girl. Yeah, we got some explaining to do. Yeah, tag Complex Magazine. The Bagel Meisters that have been participating in the shaping of the tools that have been used to separate black men and black women within specific aspects of the culture for quite some time. Tag them. Yeah. Tag little Becky. Yeah, little Amy. What her name? Natalie Reynolds. Yeah. Tag the little old favorite, the Braids. Yeah. Tag her. Since she's been trying to go viral and she's now utilizing melanated people to get in that engine. Tag her since you want to go viral. Come on, Becky, we're going to show you how to do it. Yeah. Tag her. Who else we got on Cat? Yeah, we got a few. I don't want to blow everybody up, but this is what we're speaking about. Yeah, so who is in here? Who in the house? Let's see who's in class. S backwards, London, UK first. In seat. Yes. UK Massive is in the spotty spot. Let's go. What up, Magic? We see yo. Kim Williams, what's going on? D Haven Enterprises, Inc. Yes. Yes, this is the 58th chamber. We see you, Kim. What's going on, Andrea Jones? We see you. Bionic Prince. Tierra the Youngin. What up, T Green? CC. DC. Is up in the spotty spot. What's going on? Yeah. A Wood. What's up, Cool K King? Snuck the Bear TV. Green Apples on deck. We see you. Eric Carlos. San Antonio. Riverwalk. Sam Houston is in the spot. Dustfro. What up, Chop? What up, Chop? Bam. Philly in the building. Bam. We see you. Tyrone the backyard again. Yeah. What up, Mississippi? We see you. See Blaze the sniper. DoeChii. Molly. What up, Molly? Hey, Ghoster, what's going on? Brown girl, we got Professor Drea. Boston is in the spotty spot, thinking they gonna win the championship again. We think not. Kenny the Unholy Grail Chef. What up, Corby? We see you. Hearttunes TV. Yeah. Joel Torres, we see you. Yeah, we see you. Marilyn, 55. Nah, you in here now. We see you. Nah. WMH Radio Show, we see you. Okay. There you go. Jalen 55. We got one, y'all. We got one. Yeah. At 1050. What's going on? Sona. What up? Yeah. Yeah, we see you. Yeah. Love Over Money TV. Yeah, we gonna turn up all the way up as we do. Sunday class be kind of hype, y'all. Yeah, because we got a small class. It be hype. Yeah, but we gotta do it. We have to do it. Before we get into it, though. Before we get into it. And before we get extra hype. I wanted to make sure everybody's understanding. Okay? People have to understand what we do here and what is expected of each and every one of you. You understand? CC, what's going on? Hayden, 55. I'm gonna ask how I'm doing. 55, you should know. 55. You dig? This is where we at with it. Because all of what we are witnessing on social media, whether you realize it or not, it is very deliberate. Nothing is done on a humble on social media. Nothing has been done in the media, period, without a purpose. There's a purpose. Okay? There's no accidents here. I don't ever want y'all to believe that. Merly Mo. Much appreciation for the super chat. GB, what up? Uptown Dre, we see you. Frankie, East New York is in the house. What's going on? All right? Sincere peace. It is purposeful. All media, all tools of education are purposeful, whether to distract or to guide the psyche into a direction that is wanted by those who seek to dominate and oppress the masses. All of it. All of it. I don't care if it's for entertainment. I don't care if it's a documentary. I don't care if you was watching PBS, Animals, Sesame Street, okay? Hill Street Blues, damn it, 60 Minutes. It is all purpose driven. It is all scripted. And it is never, ever written in a language or presented to spark some type of liberation or ideas of self-thought and self-love. It's not there, ever. Understand that. So we have to use a few things that we've been using, but we may not be fully conscious of, right? Because unless you have an injury or an ailment, you don't think about walking. You just get up and do it. Unless you have an ailment or difficulty, you don't think about breathing, right? Which is also part of the supreme math, if you really want to know, right? Knowledge is to know. Knowledge is, the foundation of all things in existence. It is also representative of breathing, the process of inhaling and exhaling. You understand? To have knowledge of. But we don't necessarily focus on that again unless somebody's choking you and it's difficult to breathe or you have an ailment. So we usually don't look at communicating ideas, right? We don't. Unless you really on a higher plane, and it is part of your practice too. So I want you to understand where we're going from this point on. When we're speaking of culture, when we're speaking of things going viral, when we're speaking on certain spaces, we have to understand there's a purpose. And within that purpose, I want you to pull back layers all of the time. That is where the term that we coined here, right? Clean eyes, clear ears, or clear ears and clean eyes. To have you in a space where you are intentionally witnessing and understanding that. Okay? Now, let's start with language. Start with language, okay? Language. A system of conventional spoken manual, right? When they say manual, which is sign, it's a language, right? A system of conventional spoken manual or written symbols by means of which human beings, as members of a social group and participants in its culture, express themselves. The functions of language include communication, the expression of identity, play, imaginative expression, and emotional release. It's language. Language, okay? Cultural expression, the language of hip-hop, the language of blues, the language of R&Bs, the language of Black Hollywood, the language of content creation, the language of a specific platform, of a YouTube, of an influencer, language within a culture. Characteristics, definition. Many definitions of language have been proposed, okay? Language is an expression of ideas by means of speech sounds combined into words, right? Specific language, ideas, idea. The idea that the Black man is God. The idea that the wisdoms are earths. And the children, the young gods, the wisdoms, right? The language. Muslims and Muslim sons, a language. A pastor and his congregation, language, right? Words are combined into sentences. This combination answering to that of ideas into thoughts. Okay? A language is a system of arbitrary vocal symbols by means of which a social group cooperates. Any definition of language makes a number of presuppositions and begs a number of questions. The first, for example, puts excessive weight on thought, and the second uses arbitrary in a specialized, though legitimate way. And this is what we do. This is language, like I said, educate and be educated. Educate and be educated. Learn, and learning. But we could only do so utilizing language and us understanding one another. The understanding is what we call comprehension. The word comprehension means understanding. When you lack comprehension of a difficult word, you will likely need to look up its definition and usage in a cool, down-to-earth, online, or in-person dictionary. Comprehension actually comes from a Latin term, which means a seizing. When you have comprehension of a subject, you have seized information and incorporated it into your own knowledge. Any kind of mental grasping of an idea or a subject is a kind of comprehension. You might attempt comprehension of a curious situation, like the fact that your goofy roommate always manages to date models. Sometimes such mysteries are beyond comprehension. Or when you have one individual representing a specific or specialized group consistently speaking against another who may in appearance represent that same group. You're trying to figure it out. Like this divide between black men and black women. It's difficult for many to comprehend and understand that because the language is off. And then we get into context, and from context, we get into narratives, we get into agendas. And that is very important. It is important because we are living in a space where language, comprehension is being played with, it's being distorted because it's not always coming from specific individuals. It is being fashioned by technology or individuals that are behind the technology, which makes it almost impossible for us to know if there's an exact truth in it. Though, in us making an attempt to figure it out, we are triggered because of our past experiences and traumas. So it causes, like I always tell you, if you don't control your anger, if you're not of the understanding that you need to control or manage your anger, when you're watching and listening and making an attempt to interpret specific language through content, and the language is not always vocal because now they give you spaces where there's edits, where there's AI involved, where there's created situations that may not be realistic or actual fact, you begin to shut down. I told you, anger does not allow you to process things healthy in real time until you de-escalate yourself. That is where we at. And we are here because black men are being attacked. The technology that is the tool is utilizing black women, specific language in a stylized way, and black men are seemingly defenseless in this attack. Now, instead of them making an attempt to counter this content, this language, they're shutting down and not ignoring it. But because they're so angry, it freezes them, causes them to be hesitant and go inward. This is every day. This is every hour on the day. And it's not only on social media, but this is in their communities. This is outside of their communities. This is in corporate America. This is in specific private entity workspaces. So now they begin to feel trapped. There is a prison that black men find themselves in, which makes it very easy for them to go into an actual physical prison and adapt so well, right? Because they see no value in themselves in this space here. Okay? Which makes our first class aim so important? Because we're speaking just like everybody else who jumped on it. The comments, well, the comment that these young melanated commercial rapper DoeChii made, right, in a interview setting. And I'm saying setting because that is exactly what it is. This wasn't her strolling down the street having a conversation with a friend. I want y'all to understand that this was purposeful and had intent to cause the damage that it has caused. Okay? Very intentional. And I want y'all to understand that. This is as intentional as Trayvon Martin, as intentional as us witnessing Eric Garner, intentional as us witnessing George Floyd. These things are intentional. Understand that. Purposeful. This is an attack, or it wouldn't be as viral as it is so quickly. And specifically in our spaces, trust and believe, O-Phase didn't get that. I guarantee you that. O-Phase are not sitting around and discussing what DoeChii said about straight men. I guarantee you that. They not. Though they are the ones who are creating and financing the platforms that she did it in. And we're going to get to that later. Because just like everything else that's intentional on social media that you are witnessing, the ownership and what comes through on these platforms is purposeful as well. You dig? Very intentional. Understand that. It is financed. The setting is set. The volume is raised. Okay? How they're seated. The gleefulness, the joy in what the moment was is purposeful. So if you haven't seen it in this very ugly tone, I'll bring you up to speed very briefly. DoeChii, who just recently won Grammy, right? Highly visible after that point. Many had no idea who she was. Me, of course, because I've young and a younger child and a daughter that's just into every genre of music and catching artists from beginning, from the inception, put me on to this child. So I knew of her. And even from the first couple of listens, I said, kind of weird. They're pushing her in a space where she is a black female Eminem. Most of the lyrics are very, very disturbing at certain points. But you would question where this black girl was raised, right? Sort of like a, Tyler, the Creator, right? You people who are very expressive with ideas and lyrics that just the average person wouldn't get, right? Because we don't think in that space. We don't operate in those spaces. Usually people who are in those spaces are a little wayward and have too much time because for some reason the true struggle of what it is to be a melanated person escapes them because they're on a creative plane, right? Sort of like, you know, when the rest of the slaves is picking cotton and you get one that's kind of way off in the field somewhere, and they may be chasing butterflies until Master cracked that whip. Those people not in tune with reality, okay? Or maybe they're so in tune that they find escapism as a way to cope. So that's what her music is. And there's a lot of other messages in it. So I'm always on what my kids are listening to. And of course, me being birthed and helping birth hip hop, I'm not that far removed from any new artist. You do understand that. So that's where she places you, you know. And then when you begin, or when I began to really see her, live performances and such, even from last year and the year before, I always noticed, why this little black girl don't have any clothes on? So it made me kind of not be able to share her creativity at the same time with my daughter, because they're too close in age for me to sit there and no, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. And then her lyrics seem month after month, year after year to lean towards an agenda, lean towards a narrative that I'm saying, yo, hold on, are you listening to what she's saying? Never mind the theatrics. Never mind the flow. Never mind the offbeat, on beat, and the ability and the dexterity within which she's spitting. Never mind that. That's the distraction to catch you. To say, oh no, she really dropping it, she's spitting it, but you're not listening. When you listen, you hear some of the most damaging things coming out of her little black mouth. Now you really trying to say, hold on, wait a minute. In order for somebody to be that dark and to have that type of struggle, you shouldn't be so anti-straight, anti-heterosexual. You shouldn't be hating your father. Okay? Now, I've seen it from, and we're going to make an attempt not to get into a colorist space here, but I've seen that from some of the lighter skin of our brethren and Queen comrades. I've witnessed that. I've witnessed them taking a certain stance, maybe because they believe that they could fit into different worlds and different spaces. But when you're as dark as I am, you can't have a hate for black women at all. No, sir. No, sir. Not heterosexual black women. There's no way in hell. Because when you're as dark as I've been, you have been shunned. You have been called ugly. You have been called a black crispy critter. You have been called everything under the sun. Boot black, black, black. You understand? And in that space, no. Even of the hardest of the hard is sensitive, very sensitive to how you treat others and how others are treated. So in those spaces, being raised as a dark-skinned man, nobody shielded me more than our women. I felt solace in our women. I learned. Our women taught me. They grew me up. They raised me. You understand? So for a little chocolate girl to make a statement as such, I'm like, there's something up here that's not right. And then the light bulb goes off and says, now we see why the Grammy was given. Now we see why the push. Okay? Because then, let's get back to the reason why we're here. See, we're here because in this interview, I guess they were playing this game where, you know, she was asked a question, okay? And within that question, very specifically, the question is, well, what do you see as a red flag? As a red flag when it comes to, is it dating? Is it the opposite sex? Whatever it was, it damn sure wasn't the opposite sex. Let me pull that back. What is a red flag for you? And she write it down, and this chick is supposed to guess. Okay? And she guessed and guessed and guessed, and then when she flipped it, the red flag for her, for this little black girl, the red flag was a straight man. Now, knowing her music, hearing her in interviews, I wasn't too surprised because I know how social media works. I know how the agenda is put in front of us. I know how bold and brazen they've become. I've heard her speak of being with both genders and being fluid and non-binary and all this other, you know, statements of who she is as a person. However, backlash came quick. And black men was in an uproar. And some women as well was like, whoa, hold on. If you're in a certain space and you're with, you know, Lucky Charms and different spaces, that's cool. But to say that, okay, is a red flag, that a straight man is a red flag, I had to think, well, damn, what does she think about her daddy? Because if a red flag is a straight man, how does one utilize language and comprehension based on your experience to derive of that at that point? Because, see, we deal with people in relationships kind of in the same space that we deal with people, period. Not saying that we would get in relationships, right, with our boss, with our, you know, professor, or with anybody else. But if you have a certain space in which you are calling out something that is alerting to you, that means you have some judgment call, period, on that group. So if straight men are a red flag for you, that means you can't think too highly of your dad. You can't think too highly of Kendrick Lamar and other people who are in the business of you, right? unless they're not straight. So she may be telling us something about Kendrick Lamar that others have said. You know, shout out to For No Fame, who consistently speaks of Kendrick being less than straight. Right? Because let's stick with our language, our comprehension, so we don't go off too far now. What are red flags? What are red flags in a relationship? Okay, so let's keep this in mind now. Red flags are warning signs that indicate unhealthy or manipulative behavior. So straight men are unhealthy and consistently in a space of manipulative behavior. They are not always recognizable at first, which is part of what makes them so dangerous. However, they tend to grow bigger and become more problematic over time. So this is the statement that she has made about straight men on a global platform. All these straight men who have daughters who may be her fan base. So what are these daughters to believe of their fathers? If DoeChii, their favorite artist, is saying that straight men are a red flag for her. Red flags are often used in conversations around toxic or abusive relationships. Toxicity can present itself in any close relationship, friends, colleagues, family members, or partners. DoeChii said that straight men are a red flag. Let me repeat. Toxicity can present itself in any close relationship. As I always say in the beginning of every class, intimate partner relationship or intimate relationship abuse. Intimate relationship. You and your father have an intimate relationship. You and your boss have intimate relationships. Intimacy. It's not intimacy, okay? But it is close. So for her, straight men are red flags. They're toxic. They're abusive, okay? They're manipulative. Red flags in a guy or girl can be signs of narcissism, aggression, victimization, or even abusive behavior. By becoming aware of some common red flags, you can avoid getting involved in a toxic relationship. The statement she made is straight men. Straight men who could be friends, colleagues, family members, or partners. So now if it's a man sitting across from her trying to have a conversation to get to know her, to, possibly have some type of relationship with her, if he's straight, it's a red flag. So that means this man has to be sweet at some point. He had to have his grippers manipulated at some point. He has to present himself maybe like Lil Nas X. Meek Millie, one of them. You did? Diddy. Yeah, the Puffster. See, for her, the Puffster is fine. Because so far, allegations, he's not straight. He's taking grippers. He's using baby oils and lubes and pills and drugs and taking grippers. from men. But that's okay for her. That's not a red flag. He can sit and talk to her and be in her presence, and she wouldn't be alarmed. This is something I believe that is worth canceling. I mean, damn. I'm trying, hey, but as I told you before, that community is very, very, very racist. That community, very, very oppressive. Yeah, and have many biases. You don't find straight men operating in none of the industries that is predominantly ran, financed, and organized by that community. You're not going to be straight and get any source of income or notoriety within that. Not gonna happen. That's an absolute fact. Straight male models, that ain't happening. You're not getting no bread out of that. Yeah, Black Hollywood straight men, roles are minimal. You're not getting that. Yeah, fashion designers, houses of couture, none of that. Straight men ain't in any of that. You think that's an accident? No, that's purposeful. That's an intent. You're not coming up in here if you straight. That's just what it is. That's what it is. Let's continue. When you encounter relationship red flags, it is a good time to pause and reflect on the dynamic you really share with that person. Often, toxic behavior is subtle and insidious. It creeps up on us in moments of weakness, and if we cannot fight against it, it can take control of our lives. That is the language of red flags. So this little chocolate girl that people initially on first sight would cheer for, push for, even if it's the first time they watching the Grammys and never knew who she was and seen her, say, oh, we want the little black girl to win. Because that's the same type of thought, the same type of bias that you were taught for generations. Your great-great-grandmother, you support anybody black. Oh, is she black on TV? We want her to win. They black and playing sports, we want them to win. So initially, as a conditioning, you root for that. You root, he running for president, he black, you vote for him. This is a conditioning. Even though you know nothing about this individual. Which is why I always say, understand why these people is placed in front of you. Why these people are viral, why these statements, these little films are orchestrated in that manner. And then when you hear it and it stings, and it creates a space of trauma, that is a weapon. So they use this little black girl, dark skinned, talented, shiny, to come out and say the most vilest thing out of her mouth against straight men. And laugh about it, and high five about it. Now, it ain't for me to chastise somebody's child. It ain't for me to do that. Black women, unless they agree with that, unless they don't understand, they don't have a comprehension of the language, of the tone, of the idea in that, he can shrug his shoulders to it. But if you know and understand where that's going, in a space where we're consistently seeing commercials of all type of marketing, all type of ad spaces that are empty of straight black men, that are empty of images of intelligent black men, that consistently, even in the token black male, paired with others, whether Caucasian or Asian or anything else, if you don't feel that that is a climate that is a war tool, then you will feel, it ain't nothing. She can love who she wants to love, and whoever she believes is a red flag, that's on her. Okay. Okay. I just, in this class, want you to understand, want you to hear the language of it. Why, in a clear setting with a very white background, two young black women agreed that straight men are toxic, that straight men are a red flag. Whoa, that's heavy. Very heavy in this climate. But it also lets you know where the industry is going. It reveals where the industry has consistently been for decades. Because as a Grammy winner, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Grammy winners in the past, but they very, 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 very frequently after winning a Grammy been quiet. Go back. After that, it's time for them to rest and reflect and try to find their spacing in a new year that's coming, to see if they can fit, to see if they can capitalize on that. They very, very rarely made any political statement of the such. Well, again, I keep telling you that the culture, it has consistently, over the past few years, been weaponized against unifying the black family, which is why they pushed everything that had a tone, right? A very solid urban tone, a melanated tone to the side, which is why they, we need to go and reflect and see where country music has been. We need to find a new rock band. We need to find pop. Even if it's K-pop, K-pop, and we don't understand them and they don't understand us, that has to be the dominant music. We cannot never go back to reggae and dancehall and hardcore hip-hop consciousness. No, 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 no. We have to find something else. But if we can find something similar to it and make sure that the agenda and the language And the ideas wash away anything that is solid, then we good. So this is why you've seen all this weird stuff come up. This is why you see the Lil Nas X pushed to the stratosphere. And as if you recalled, when he first popped off, nothing about who he was, who he laid with, how his cheeks looked was ever there. No. That was a song that was pushed to the children. That was all the babies knew the song. And by the time the remix came through, right, Rashida? By the time the remix came through and Billy Ray got on it and it went to another level, then all of a sudden you see his grippers and he begins to kiss people. You understand? Because the frequency is already there. He already got him. Okay? And then everything got weird. Right? From him to Uzi Vert to Kid Cudi to the purses to this, weaponized. But nothing is more of a weapon than the black woman. Nothing. Right? I told y'all. If you are really into the book and into the word, Eve was the one. This is what they want you to believe. Eve was the one. And you gotta ask yourself, well, why did the snake? Why did Iblis? Why did the snake choose Eve? Why not go right at Adam? Well, because Eve is the power. Eve is the nurturer. If you corrupt Eve, you get to Adam. Once Adam falls, that's it. Humanity is done. The same with us. If you corrupt a black woman, well, that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. If she cannot get clean of the heroin epidemic, if she cannot get clean of the crack epidemic, if she cannot get clean from poverty, if she cannot get clean, we as a nation never have a shot. But when she is strong enough to stay away from the heroin, to stay away from the crack, to find a way out of poverty, we are able to sustain. So they have to turn it up a notch, because when you took her and allowed her the space to clean up, to get up off of the drugs, when you allowed her to figure out a way to be self-sufficient in poverty, you had to use something else. You had to shower her with shiny things and positions within that institution and to crush her man. You have to make sure that she views her man as a weakness, that she views her man as a red flag. So people could ignore what just happened if they want to. And people could choose not to cancel this little black girl because you think that that shit means something. However, when people are in these spaces, when they are raised and are able to have an idea with a very black mother that's sitting right there, that didn't check her, that didn't tell her, you need to apologize, you need to retract that statement, they don't see themselves as black. They don't see themselves as melanated beings. They don't see themselves as earths because they have no knowledge of self. That, what they see as great, is white. Whether it's white men, white women, white resources. And why should you share anything with them? Why should you want any good from that? That is where we at when it comes to that statement. You understand? That is where we're at because of the language that she used and the understanding, the comprehension that we have of what a red flag is. We know that she views us as enemies, straight men. So if you as a woman have a straight man in your life, if you've given birth and raising a straight man, DoeChii just put a bullseye right there on your straight man's head. A bullseye. In a world right now where they have just taken the battles up a notch, where 47 has weaponized law enforcement to say anything that you do in the course of your job will give you immunity. Though it has not been proven yet, but law enforcement is moving in a manner where one of them want to be the first. I want to see if it's really going to work. So I'm going to be extra zealous in my attack and my agitation in Black communities. They want to see if it's going to work. So if the Black child, who is a Grammy winner, is saying that straight men get red flags, and people are in agreement with her, and nobody is checking or challenging her or canceling her, then law enforcement, that's just another battery that they could put in their back with 47, with policies. This is where they at with it. That's how the content is being moved. So she only said it directly, but as I keep telling you, I've been watching it for years, pre-pandemic. You don't see the intelligent, militant, straight man nowhere. You don't see him anywhere on those screens or on social media. If you see him, he's in very small pockets where he's navigating in a little tiny space to be heard, little tiny space to organize. You don't see him. He's not in the movies. He's not on television shows. He don't win Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. He don't do that. You don't see that, man. We back to Ralph Ellison. We back to the Invisible Man. You are back into a space where you don't see that energy. That unapologetically Black man, that God, cipher divine, you don't see it. And they don't want you to see it because when they begin to exterminate him, you won't even know he's gone. And they just use this little Black girl, this Grammy winner, this rapper, to put that label right on his head. She put that label on your father's head. She put that label on your grandfather's head. She put the label on your baby's. Pop! Hold that. A straight man is a red flag. For me, that's what she said as a melanated woman in appearance, because that's the first thing they see. But in order to let them know that she's with them, she makes statements out of her mouth. Non-binary. I go this way or that way. I'm not with them. I'm colorless. I am rainbow. And as such, I believe straight men are red flags. In other words, in a context, in language and comprehension, I know what you meant, little girl. I know that. My daughter could never share another song by DoeChii ever again with me. We can't even talk about that. Because she just lined your father up. That's what she did. So in essence, you took a space away. I mean, that was, regardless of how small or how short of a time, that was a space where me and my daughter had some type of communication and dialogue. Now, of course, we speak on millions of things and millions of songs and clothes and images and careers and technology. But that one little space you just took away. Because I don't want to hear nothing about your black ass ever again. Ever again. You, your mama, your daddy, nothing. Because you just allow the world to look at me, whether they know me or not, as a red flag. Especially me, somebody who works daily to make sure that domestic violence, to make sure that batterers have accountability, to make sure these things don't happen, whether I get funded, supported or not. This is what I do. But you just killed that. Imagine my clients that have hidden biases that may sit there and still in the back of their mind say, damn, I'm getting help, I'm getting healing from this man, but he's a straight man and I was abused by a straight man, and this girl is excelling and she said that straight men are red flags. How many clients I could lose behind that? And y'all think that this is not agent work. Y'all think that this isn't a psyop. Y'all really believe that this isn't a think tank. The way the culture of commercial rap has shifted to a lack of consciousness, to a lack of unity between black men and black women, a lack of unity between the generations. Y'all think that that is an accident? Really? Okay, let's move on. Because again, I don't want to get in this space with people just coming in and then making an attempt to replay and go over. You dig what I'm saying? Because it gets I get in it. I'm not going to ever allow anybody to stand down to the bullshit. Okay? That was disgusting. And y'all should view it as such. Now, I'm saying. Now, that's only on that statement. She's done a lot of questionable things. I've seen her play Russian roulette with an automatic, telling the boyfriend to squeeze the trigger. I've seen her sniff a powder. Okay? I've seen her do a lot of things live. You understand? That overtly sexual image shows that, yo, hold on. There's a little imbalance here. You understand? Is it real? Is it orchestrated? Is it something purposefully driven? Or is it a selection process? Do they have people who are expert at looking and seeing and figuring out and finding these individuals to propel up? Because it's not natural. It is not natural. Unless that person has been severely abused, severely traumatized, okay? Where their sexuality has been damaged physically and mentally, for them to come out and red flag straight men. Doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Not coming from an environment such as ours where we depend so heavily on each other. It don't happen. That's where that come in at. Your psyche doesn't move in that space. Some people who I've known who have been damaged severely, relationship after relationship after relationship, still says, I need a straight black man. Men who have been abused, I need me a black woman. You do not get into that space unless there's a glitch right here. So, because of that glitch, right, we find that others believe that they can take advantage and speak freely or utilize our intellectual property, our culture, our lifestyles for their benefit, because they see people speak like that. They see corporations give money to people who move like that. They do all the time. So which brings me to this little Becky in this re-emerging conversation on what and where Braids originated and people running with it. And y'all made it a thing. Not seeing and understanding or digging deep enough to find out where this shit come from all of a sudden. So we get this little nasty little Becky, right? This little little olive oil, Shelley Winters type, pasty, you dig what I'm saying, trash looking girl in a video that just took off, seemingly took off overnight, where she's walking with braids and she's being verbally harassed by a dark-skinned, purposefully ratchet-appearing woman, telling her, take them braids out. You don't wear those. We wear those. Those is ours. Take it. And she's appearing to be fearful and walking away. And it caught fire. I've even seen YouTube spaces where they chastised this black girl for doing that. Yeah, came to this little Becky's aid. Ashy Amy, if you would like to call her that. Yeah, came right to her aid. Sat there for an hour and a half, berating this girl. She can wear what she wanna wear. Who are you? Look at you. You look terrible and you got a bonnet, and going in on this black girl. And I'm like, why is this even a conversation? This is a repeat. When you're old enough, when you're old like me, you know that we had this same conversation with Bo Derek. Right? years ago about stringy hair white chicks wearing braids. And I'm like, well, where are they going with this? And how did it go viral so quick? And why are people in their feelings so deep about this bullshit from this little... So let me look at this girl. This little skinny girl. Let me go to the page. I get it. This is corporate sponsored. This is paid for because this same little girl, little Ashy Amy, been trying to go viral for a long time. When you see it, it looks like somebody's allowing their child to play on a computer, knowing that they're watching people blow up on TikTok seemingly overnight, and say, yeah, go ahead, go do your thing. Because the majority of her videos are dumb, asinine, skits that you could tell they're making up. No real thought behind it, just believing it's going to catch. Okay, so you keep doing it. It's, not even silly. Ignorance. However, recently, she's been inserting black folk in it. Because, again, when you want to sell, when you want to get notoriety in the audience, use the blacks. Incorporate their culture. Cause some type of conversation or controversy, and you'll blow a catch like wildfire. And just like silly folks that we are, we allow it. You run with it instead of ignoring it. So this particular video, since it went viral, her page organically has gained another 20,000 just in the last 2 days. She was already at 100,000 subscribers on IG, which I'm sure most of it is bought because her numbers don't reflect it in her likes and comments. So here we go. And in her follow-up videos, she made some very, very ill statement about black people not owning or inventing braids. That the Vikings did it first. That the Vikings were wearing braids. I can wear braids. And when you begin to research, you will understand that if you don't write it a certain way, that's what you're going to get. So this is a scrub, which allows me to know that there's somebody way more important than her that's making an attempt to rewrite specifics on it. Now, we all know that ain't no way in hell Vikings could create anything. Not at all. Definitely not hairstyles. I know nobody from the Caucasus Mountains that gave a damn about a style of hair. But since she made that statement, let's go to it. Let's get down to some very, very, very true historical facts. Braids have long been an integral part of human history, serving as both functional hairstyle and intricate works of art. In ancient civilizations around the world, braided hairstyles held deep cultural significance, reflecting the values, beliefs, and social structures of their respective societies. Let's embark on a journey back in time to explore the captivating world of braids in ancient civilizations. Ancient civilizations allow you to know in language and comprehension that it had to be African in its inception because we were the first and only ancient civilizations. We've been here since the beginning of time. God is who God is because he is I. Arm a leg, arm a head. Always will be because it has always been. Ancient civilizations. Okay, we know that's an absolute fact. Let's continue. Ancient Egypt, one of the earliest civilizations to showcase the art of braiding, was ancient Egypt. The Egyptians considered hair to be a symbol of power and divine energy. Braided hairstyles were prevalent among both men and women, with intricate designs that varied in complexity depending on one's social status. See? Social status, maturity. You see the gray? Yeah. Creates a lovely backdrop to the God face. Yes. So, Becky, understand this. Little Ashy Amy, the Vikings didn't start nothing like this at all. But that doesn't mean you cannot culturally appropriate the style and wear it. Yeah, you can do that. You can do it. You can be the culture vulture because this is what you've been doing. Yeah, this is what your older Beckys have been doing for a long time. So you can wear it. Be our guest. Okay? The elite class adorned their braids with precious jewels, beads, and gold accessories, displaying their wealth and prominence. The Nile River served as a vital source of inspiration for Egyptian braiding styles. The Nubian twist and Egyptian plait were popular braiding techniques. Yeah, that was all over. Okay, right? The braiding style was also language that was understood to be of Egyptian inception. So let's keep that there. Let's go again. Ancient Egyptians. Fast forward 3,500 BCE to 3,100 BCE when the ancient Egyptians ruled. They were known for their fancy, intricate braids, which were an important part of cultural identity. Braids were about more than looking good. The ancient Egyptians believed that braiding hair could ward off evil spirits and bring good luck. Upper class men and women would wear elaborate braided styles bedazzled with beads, jewels, and gold thread. And of course, we can't talk about ancient Egyptian braids without mentioning Cleopatra. The queen of the Nile was renowned for her stunning braided hairstyles, setting trends that lasted for centuries. Where is the Vikings in that? Huh? Where? Yeah, they're barely communicating with each other using language. We barely, okay? Let's acknowledge that now. Where's the Nordic text from this age? Okay, let's continue. Because Amy, I want you to understand, Amy, that you are in a space of cultural appropriation. And it's fine as long as you acknowledge it. Don't start a false narrative. Don't take this content and try to put it in the space of actual fact, because in your next video, you were crying, talking about no one told me that braiding would take my hair out. You understand? Making an attempt to now joke about the braids that you culturally appropriated to go viral, right? Let's continue. Hair braiding has roots in ancient Africa. Many experts believe cornrows are the oldest braiding style. Okay? Huh? Huh? Come on. Come on. Back. In ancient times, braids were about more than aesthetics. They also held important cultural and social significance. In Africa, for example, the intricate patterns woven into a person's hair often communicated their role within the community. Different styles were used to identify age, tribe, marital status, and even social rank. Braiding was, and still is, a social art. Creating such detailed looks took hours. So, that time was dedicated to bonding with family and friends. Now, this is the historical context, whether you know it or not. You will see why you are so drawn to these spaces. You will see why we have more barbershops and hair salons and things of the such in our communities than anything else. Because even though you don't have it consciously, subconsciously, you are aware that that is how we move throughout the millennia, that was a bonding, that is a nurturing space, that is a space where we are able to communicate freely in our language and understand one another. Do you get me? So Becky, you can play if you want, and you people that's in her videos, you melanated people, you black people that's allowing her to use you to make these ridiculous statements, keep doing it because you allow the Ofe to utilize you, believing that they see you in any different light. No, no, they don't. I keep telling you, when they're nice to you, they're nice to their pets too. Okay? Yeah, yeah. They look at you the same way that they look at their dog because they owned you as such. You were the dog, okay? You were the family pets. He fed you scraps, they walked you, they worked you. And sometimes they got their sexual release off of you. Okay, this is what the Ofe did and still does to this day. Which is why you have these statements that straight men are toxic. Straight men are red flags. Because when you believe in the Ofe, when you have the conditioning in your mind that the Ofe is Jesus, that he's the highest power, that his measure of success is what success really is, that's where you at with it. This is what you get. Yeah. Yeah, people who want to be pets. You know, stroked by Ophes. Right? That's why I don't like that shit. I don't believe in pets. I don't. At all. Because that is a conditioning. That is an oppressive mind. That means I need something that I can control. That is unable to vocalize. That won't tell me to stop when they don't want to be pet. Right? This is a control mechanism. I can control this thing here. I can make it do what I believe it understands my commands are. Even though I'm in a financially strapped space, I can feel good if I can afford this dog, this cat, these birds and shit like that. Okay? Understand that. That there's a little up here that you want to take care of somebody, go adopt a kid, a black kid in need. You know, you want to take care of somebody, take care of your parents that may not be able to care for themselves. You know, but you want to take care of that fucking mongrel here. All right? Let me just stay on Becky, because that's what they did. I don't know if y'all realize it or not, but we were the dogs, okay? Before they learned to domesticate them. That's what they considered. The family pet, the plaything. All right? Look up the history. You don't believe me? Look it up. We got to get another slave kid to be raised with our kids. And the Jones plantation has another 2 slaves. Their children have a slave apiece. How come we don't? And old master will go out into the cabin and either he'll make a pet, or they'll go buy a pet at the next slave auction. Okay? I'm just keeping it 1,000. I don't know if y'all think white folk like y'all like that. I don't understand why. But, you know, we're going to keep going on. You dig? So what is her name? This culture vulture, Natalie Reynolds. Keep wearing your braids, little girl. Keep it. My message ain't to you. My message is to the black people that's playing in your content that don't realize what they're doing. Because, of course, you will be propelled to a viral status, right? You'll be the next bad baby or whoever the hell you are as a little old fake girl. You may end up being the next, what's that child name? Huh? Oh, what's the little fat child name? And they used to say, oh, everybody's a little gay. What was that child name? Huh? That they made famous of Honey Boo Boo. Maybe you, but you'll be a skinny Honey Boo Boo. You understand? Yeah. You might be, yeah. They'll propel you. Black folk will help you get up there. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So Natalie Reynolds, keep wearing your braids. And then black people in that video, especially in this day and time, I couldn't allow my enemy to get no resource off of me. It wouldn't be me. You understand? But this is a conditioning. They're think tanks, they're corporations that make sure this shit happen. Right? You think that there's no corporation behind DoeChii? That's big business. That's the Grammy. That's the Recording Industry Association of America. That's a think tank. That is a psy-op. That is something major. You understand? That entire image is hoping that she can raise a nation that thinks like her. You understand that? That is what the music industry is. That is what Hollywood is. You understand that? Huh? They hope to have more comedians, clowns, singers, dancers, actors. They don't want y'all to be physicists. You think they want another Neil deGrasse Tyson? Hell no. You think they want that? You don't see nobody that speaks in the language of a Huey P. Newton, of a Nasada Shakur, of a Naeem Akbar. You don't see none of that going viral. You think they not on social media? Don't worry about it, see Blaze. Don't worry about it. Keep the information in. But you ain't hear it yet. We at what, 94 minutes, right? You ain't hear it yet. because it's purposeful, because there's a conditioning in there. Don't worry about it though, okay? Because I'm telling you, this is high science. High science, and when it's gone, it's gone. Okay? But you can keep that information in the chat for the duration of chat. Okay, so we got this little old fay broad out of the way. Got her out of the way. Okay? I want y'all to understand that. That was a black girl participating in that video, sparking this nonsense conversation about braids. Black girl working with a corporation. DoeChii, black girl working with a corporation. Now, if you think that I'm playing about corporations and think tanks, okay, I want you to get a gander at this shit here. There was another video. Might have been viral on some of y'all timelines, might not. It's really a New York City thing. Okay? But the significance of it, again, attacking the black man, the straight black man, is severe. And again, I don't want y'all to miss it. Okay? There's a video. Again, I don't know where they get these chicks from. Could care less. They ain't in my setting nowhere at all. And they may be in New York, but they not built like me, so they would never be in my setting. A little chick named Ari, what is it? Aria Hughes or Araya or whatever. In a piece of content with Dapper Dan, another individual, and what's my girl name? Well, it used to be my girl. She done bumped her head. This fashion stylist chick. Help me out. Y'all might have seen it. June, that's her name. June Ambrose, who really wouldn't be nowhere without the main stylist of our culture, Sonia Majette. I'm gonna put that out there since she never puts it out there. She don't want it. But Sonia Majette was the initial hip hop R&B stylist. Without that and her, I don't know where these other chicks would be, butting around somewhere. But anyway, her and this Aria Hughes was in a discussion with Dapper Dan, the Harlem Dapper Dan, speaking about dandies. And I'm trying to figure out why. Why in this political climate is this important? Mind you, I'm no fan of Dapper Dan. Never wore none of his articles, clothing, never wanted to. Never. When I seen my homeboys wearing it, the fat boys had plenty of Dapper Dan shit. So we going back to 85, 86. Shit wasn't impressive to me. Just wasn't. No fan of his, and definitely since statements that he was making and encouraging through that pandemic about that thing, nah, I could care less about him. But the content space was very, very funny style in the clip that I saw when she deliberately made statement and said, you know, well, do you think Jay-Z's a dandy? Do you think this? You know, going a little here and there. And out of nowhere, she says, well, you did become successful because of drug dealers. I mean, right? I mean, drug dealers kept you in business. And I was like, wow. That was serious. That was a blow. I was like, whoa. And it sort of took him aback. I was like, ooh. She shot that shot out of nowhere. And see, you have to wonder, again, why these moments go viral. Who does it? What is the setting? Who's pushing and controlling those buttons? Because regardless of anything, though hustlers wore his clothing and may have been, people who patronize the space, the majority were athletes who had the bag, okay? Rappers who had the bag. And most of the people who at that time were working and really didn't want to go into the department stores where we were at that time heavily racially profiled, okay? And that's serious. In her statement, she made it seem as though his only clientele was drug dealers. Again, minimizing the importance of a straight black man. Okay? So I was like, wow. This attack on black men is prevalent. This is consistent. They're not taking their foot off the pedal at all. In every space, wherever you look, this is going to be a consistent, permanent attack. And whether you are conscious of it or not, whether it sits in the front or in the back, it's bothering you. And I'm telling black men, don't stand down to it. More than ever, you have to remain militant, upright, and watching. Because it's consistent. Okay? It's consistent. So you minimize like no one else has ever have done ever on a public platform. You minimize him to a supplier of clothes to people who supplied and destroyed the community with drugs. That was deep. So I had to say, well, damn, who is this girl? Who is she? And I said, nah, you know what? That's not important. I don't give a damn who she is at all. Because if she's a native New Yorker and from New York, I mean, she easy pickings. Somebody from East New York, I would, definitely meet anywhere to straighten anything out. But I know somebody sent her. And who sent her? So I had to see who she is. And it seems as though she is part of Complex Magazine. So now I'm like, wow. Complex Magazine, huh? So I had to go into the DNA of Complex Magazine because that's what I do for y'all. This is what I'm talking about. You have to go into the DNA of these bases, of these individuals, the people, so you can understand that the ideas, that the narratives, that the pieces of content that they put out there and plant into the universal consciousness is directed energy. Is put in a space, okay? Is used as powerful, powerful, powerful weapons all the time. So Complex magazine, let's get to it. Complex was established in 2002 by the founder of the Echo Unlimited brand, Mark Echo, who changed his name. That's not his name. Mark Echo is a Bagelmeister, who culturally appropriated spaces where we are and what we do and what we wear into a financial resource for him. Let's continue. As a print magazine aimed at providing young men a report of the latest in hip hop, even though we already had the Source, Rap Pages, XXL, and numerous other ways for us to communicate, we don't need no Bagelmeister telling us who we are and how to move. But they know how to monetize our intellectual property without utilizing us. Because we're so giving, we're so understanding, we're so in a space where we always want to explain to these people who and what we are, even to our own demise. So, okay, this is what he is. As a print magazine aimed at providing young men a report of the latest in hip-hop, fashion, and pop culture without regard to race. Without regard to race. So let's get rid of the race in hip-hop in 2002. Very significant because that's the first beginnings of the reset with the coming down of the World Trade Center and moving into digital era. So in order to move in that space, we have to erase race and allow old phase to dictate to you what hip hop and pop culture is. Let's continue. Okay, the name Complex evolved from a slogan developed to promote the Echo website, Echo Complex. The idea was to create a men's magazine that combined Echo streetwear and hip-hop attitude along with the style of Japanese men's magazines by providing consumer guides. This was achieved by creating a magazine in two sections, one traditional magazine and the other a shopping guide. So how did the DNA of this get to a space where Blackwomen is telling a fashion icon of Harlem where his business came from, how he was able to sustain his business, and essentially saying that he worked for drug dealers, that he was able to sustain himself because of drug dealers. Why would this and how does this magazine get in a space where it has influence and is able to join the rest of these people or entities that is using Black women to disrupt any united space? Let's continue. In 2005, Complex was joined by senior publishing executive turned future CEO Rich Antoniello and the former senior editor of Vibe magazine, Noah Callahan Bever. Remember that name, right? Senior editor at Vibe magazine, which we all know Quincy Jones was the, creator of Vibe magazine. But we do know that Quincy Jones kept an Old Faye, loved the Old Faye, babies with the Old Faye. So of course, whatever happened to Keith Clink Scales, we get to the Vibe magazine and this Noah Callahan individual became editor-in-chief and chief content officer a year later. So by 2006, Complex had begun to turn a profit, which allowed the magazine to consider an expansion of their online presence. Now, Let's get this straight. This is a men's hip-hop magazine created by a bagel meister, and then you got another bagel meister for a CEO telling us what hip-hop, fashion, and culture is for men. Think tanks, intelligentsia. These individuals don't just move on their own. This is a space where they go and meet and talk and use analytics and discuss what ideas to pull out to influence those who do not know what's going on. Let's continue. In April 2007, Complex soft launched a media network with 4 websites: Nah Right, Nice Kicks, Slam X Hype, and Mo Jackson. Yeah, Complex, the youth culture and music media brand that BuzzFeed sold to e-commerce company NTWRK, has named a new social, editorial leadership. Okay, so after all of that, we get into today. Complex promoted Aria Hughes, formerly editorial creative director, to the role of editor-in-chief. She's the first editor-in-chief for Complex since the former editor-in-chief, Maurice Peebles, exited in March 2022 to join ESPN. Hughes will oversee, this chick now, will oversee newsroom and content strategy alongside who? Noah Callahan Bever, formerly executive VP at Def Jam Records and Complex's one-time editor-in-chief of content create officer, who has rejoined the company after a 6-year hiatus. Def Jam Records, Complex Magazine, Grippergate, Old Face, Bagel Meisters, and here this black woman sitting in that seat for a piece of content. Ask Dapper Dan. Well, you did get all of your business from drug dealers, didn't you? Okay? In a space where we've had a horrendous week after another horrendous month when it comes to black men in media being viewed, whether it's on the news, whether it's in social media or print. But this is where we at. Def Jam Records. Now, he was at Def Jam. Somebody who was in Complex Magazine. These are the individuals that sit at Def Jam and say, you know what, this is coming out, that's coming out. This ain't coming out. We're going to put money here, 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 here. These are the individuals. So when I'm telling you that content creation is not what you believe it is to be, you need to do your research. You need to find out why certain people went viral, why certain pieces of content went viral, what platforms are they on, who owns the platforms. So then you can start understanding that they don't speak the language you believe they speaking in. All right? So they put their little black ass faces up there and consistently cause the divide. Let's continue. In addition, Complex has acquired Callahan Bever's Idea Generation Media Company, which he founded in January 2020. Idea Generation seeks to understand and explain how the greatest creators, innovators, and entrepreneurs come up with, develop, and operationalize the ideas that move and impact society, according to Complex, right? So they telling you that they develop, right, ideas that move and impact society, they want to understand and explain that. Okay, let's continue. Because y'all think people go viral. Y'all people get support. You think people get supported just for them being them. Because if that was the case, I'd have been viral. I've been on YouTube almost every day for the past 4 years. Not a knock, not a pushback, not a reply from nobody. And I've dispelled a lot. They don't come over here. Why? Okay, let's continue. In transitioning from print to the video first digital powerhouse it is today, Complex has become one of the 10 top publishers in the US when it comes to social interaction and engagement on channels like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Oh, hold on. How do you think they become that strong without having the means to control what goes through people's timelines? You think being the publishers of content that they don't sit? Come on. You think that somebody that was sitting at Def Jam can't go to sit with Leo Cohen on YouTube and say that this needs to be pushed through? You think that they don't go to the whatever Turkish bathhouses together? You think that they don't worship together? You think that they don't put in the same work? You think that they don't go to the same altars? You think somebody that's been at Def Jam for years and took a hiatus from print work is not coming back to creating content and have a relationship to make sure that that content goes viral on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter? So that when a black girl is sitting across from a black man, that she reduces him to a drug dealer, clothing ambassador, that he just draped his clothes around drug dealers his entire career. You think that that's not purposeful? That piece of content wasn't intentional? Let's continue. The numbers validate what we've always known. This complex generation of creators wanted a voice that looks, sounds, and thinks like them and defies being pigeonholed by demographic labels. You understand? Pigeonholed, demographic, that's coded language that says, nah, we don't need nobody to think specifically urban, to think specifically for melanated people, to think specifically for the original way that hip hop has been presented. Nah, that's the coded language that Trump just said, we're going to get rid of these terms, these woke terms. I don't know if y'all saw that yet, but yeah, there's certain words and languages that's going to be boop, that's going to alert them to who you are. That's why I said the more y'all not supporting and funding the war effort, the easier I'll be gone. The easier they get rid of me like this. Bop. Because all they gotta do is go backtrack in all those videos and say, damn, he's attempting to wake his people up beyond repair. Nah, he got to go. So keep playing, like I said. All right, let's continue. Okay? For more than a decade, we've been catalyzing and shaping this movement of convergence culture, exposing young people to the musicians, artists, and writers that influence the present and inspiring them to create their own future. Which means when her future and her influence says that straight men are a red flag, yeah, okay. Complex magazine. When she asks a legendary fashion designer, didn't you get on your business from drug dealers? This is where it's about. This is what it's about. Okay? Now, it gets deeper because you thinking that just because she works right there with this Callahan Bever, that connection hand in hand, a black woman with an O-Fay in an O-Fay structure, not going to interview Mumia Abu-Jamal, not going to interview you think Leonard Peltier since he been home, not going to interview, man, many of our elders and people who are in a space. I haven't seen her run to go jump and interview New Era Detroit or anybody of significance that's working towards the liberation of our people. Man. What's up? Black women. Corporations and OFAs are using you against us. It's just that simple. Let's continue. Verizon and Hearst today announced they have entered an agreement to jointly acquire Complex in a 50-50 ownership structure. Rich Antoniello, Complex and CEO co-founder, will continue to lead the company. Now, this is an old article. Founded by entrepreneur, Chief Brand Officer Mark Echo in 2002, Complex is one of the fastest growing networks of sites focused on American pop culture. Okay? This is how they think, how they operate. Okay? The decision to acquire Complex is certainly a continuation of our media strategy, which is focused on disruption that is occurring in digital media and content distribution and involves building a portfolio of the emerging digital brands of the future for the millennial and Gen Z audience. They've been doing this. This is a 20-year-old article, 19-year-old. This is the plot. And at this point now they're using black women to make sure that they don't have anything to do with black men, okay? You understand what I'm saying, right? I hope y'all do, okay? You think I'm playing? These are the white people that you see in the back, in the offices, when you go to the office. Don't worry about what you see on BET and seen in the audience and the basement and 106 and Park and the covers and in the back. The decision makers. Callahan Bever essentially began his career at 17 magazine, a white little Amy subscription-based magazine, as an editorial assistant at Ego Trip magazine, and over the following years contributed to Vibe, Blaze, and MTV News before being named editor-in-chief of Mass Appeal and a senior editor at Vibe. This is who he is. Okay. Yeah, and that might not be 17 the magazine. He might have did it. They said essentially began his career at 17. It might have been at 17 years old. Which means that this is what they were gearing as a community, as a family. You are going to go find out what them black folk is doing. Here you go. What do you tell your child to do at 17, at 19, at 22? Are you telling them to create a magazine? Are you helping them and showing them how to really create substance and content for themselves? Or are you saying, yo, go to school and get you a job? Go take that city test. Hmm? Talk about it. Talk about it. But it gets even deeper. An e-commerce startup backed by Universal Music Group and Beats co-founder Jimmy Iovine is buying the music, culture, and streetwear digital media company Complex. So now you got Jimmy Iovine, Universal Music, got all this stuff in here, and this goes on and on and on and on, passing the buck, passing the Bliz, moving around. And you know who else is eating off of this, right? You know who Complex owns? Yeah, your man in them, Gilly and Wallow. Yeah. So when y'all try to put together an idea of why the hell these folks is so viral when they acting so silly, now you know why. Now you know why. So you got two black men that's acting as clowns, right? Owned and operated. Okay? Owned and operated by bagel meisters and bankers. Okay? That's how we do. That's what we do. Yeah, it get deep. It get deep. It get deep. Too deep for many. Which is why I guess my numbers remain low. Because sometimes that when you unearth the truth, it's painful. It's painful. But just like everything else that is worth something, you gotta endure that pain. Nothing comes through. Nothing good comes through without pain. Nothing. Pain and violence is birth, is new birth. It's struggle. Understand how to struggle. All right? But we ain't finished. I thought I was finished. 2 hours, I know, ready? Y'all Monday gonna be messed up. Messing with me. Messing with me. Okay? Yeah. Because we got another one. We got another one who I was again confused by. Now, in the space of us consistently on this channel knocking Jermaine in his head. Yeah, old Dr. Umar. Yeah, Suki's side piece. Consistently, we are never here to protect him or his honor. Because I told y'all about him a decade ago. He ain't new. Not at all. Ben read his bullshit. I told you about him. I told you about Polite. I told you about Grandmaster Mixer J. I told you about Tariq. I told you about all of them. Because it don't take me but one sitting to see the bullshit, because I know that what they're saying has no specific outcome. When you don't have a specific outcome, when you don't have a specific goal set, all you are doing is selling information. and you sell limited information because this is resource for them. That's it. That's it. So all the attention that you give to them, all of the donation that you give to them, everything, without getting a goal, without getting an outcome, without getting a service provided, it's a scam. So I've been told y'all about Jermaine. Long time ago. However, I was sent a video by one of the classmates again. Much appreciation. Matter of fact, I got it sent 3 times to me with some chick called Priscilla Boy, whatever. First of all, she don't even sound like she's from here. I don't know where she's from. However, in what has become Umar Gate, guess we gotta call it that, in what we call Umar Gate, and his biological daughter calling him out for being a deadbeat, and people attacking and jumping on him, right? Many of who I know for a fact have supported him, who were taking in awe of him. Now, all of a sudden, they want to switch gears. I know that for a fact. But in her video, she went and utilized a TikTok video from some other chick, C Chronicles, whatever it is. And I was disturbed by it. I was disturbed by it for the simple fact of how she laid out what she laid out. And her consistent use of saying that he's such a flirt, that he was very flirtatious with her. Now, again, most of these things I look at and don't read too much into, but when I seen the consistent pattern of the last couple of days, really over the weekend, with DoeChii going viral, saying that straight men are a red flag, and now this chick saying that Dr. Umar, somebody who, for all we know, is single, and it was very flirtatious and flirting with her when she went to meet with him. I said, come on, man. Clearly, this is another space where black men are being attacked for being black men. Again, I told you. I knew Umar was full of shit when he was supposedly celibate and firm and politics over Punani and all this shit, and he let the little nasty stripper get up in his grippers. Recorded him and all that just because she didn't come through with a thong and she came through with some Erykah Badu head wrap in the dashiki skirt. Tricked his ass. You ain't celibate. See, the thing is that people are not honest. Yeah, if you honest, and you know you like to get your little freak on here and there, that's your sexuality, that's your presence. That has nothing to do with your leadership, with your information, with what you were attempting to do. However, we have grown over the decades in spaces where they're making an attempt to marginalize how black men operate, what their expectations are of black men. Never for the old faith. Because 47 can say, grab him by the pussy, and that's all good. You still want to measure your success and your man's success by the old faith and his 1% and their degrees and their institutions. He could say that and still be president. However, the black men look the wrong way. They're making an attempt to dehumanize and humiliate him for being in his nature. And I'm telling y'all, black men, don't do it. Never allow anybody to make you feel guilty about being a man. Don't do it. You are a man. Men like women. You like pussy, don't you? You are a man. Don't be apologetic for that. Ever. Now, what threw me about the conversation is that she said she was in an acquaintance with him, and she had known him, and she had discussions with him, and she was finally going to meet with him, and that she was going to meet with him before she did. She told her man, because she's in a relationship, and her man said, what? Sure, yeah, go meet with him. However, she never said if Dr. Umar knew she had a man. So my question was, how did she present herself? Because we all know what he says. We all know what he does. We know the business before back shots, which she said he consistently said, or he whispered in her ear. He always say that. He always said that. So you were taken aback by it when he said it to you directly? If you were in a relationship, why did you go by yourself? What was the intention of this meeting? That this man who may, again, be flirtatious in nature. Now, before people speak, again, we use language early on. I gave you the description of language and communication in this video. Let's not move from that. Flirt, a verb, an action word. Flirt, to behave as if sexually attracted to someone, although not seriously. Flirted, flirting, to move erratically, right? To behave amorous, excuse me, amoralously without serious intent. To show superficial or casual interest or liking. Casual interest, superficially. To behave without serious intent, to behave lovingly without serious intent. That is a flirt. That is what flirting is. Women do it all the time. All the time. They mean nothing by it. They flirt. They wear shirts down. Their cleavage is out. And this is consistently, especially over the last few decades, I've witnessed a change. I'm an old dude. I know how modest women dressed. Today, there isn't anything modest. Anything, okay? Nothing modest. Not the UPS lady, not the Target lady, not the Walmart lady, not the police lady. Nothing is modest. Everything is fitted. From khakis to slacks to uniform pants, nothing is there. Everything is in the front. So the way they dress the majority is flirtatious. They mean nothing by it, though. Again, to behave as if sexually attracted to someone, although not seriously. So she kept saying he was very flirtatious and flirting, and asked if she can cook, and spoke on her large behind. You have a large behind. And you say you could cook. Hold on. Back shots. It's never before business. Business before back shots. And she said, I was taken aback. How? Have you been in association or communication or some type of acquaintance with him over the years? This is what he has said. Man, specifically, with intent, damn near weekly. Says it so much that it's corny. Now, you're taking aback. Now, you're in a relationship. Again, what is the truth? What is the real reason for this content being pushed to you? Or matter of factly saying you know him, because that was the lead. I know him because I know what he told me, because I know what we spoke about, and I know about Delaware. I know about his tax issues. I know, and he's going back and forth from Philly to Delaware. I know. You know all of this, but you didn't know that he would flirt? You didn't know that? What was your intention? See, because somebody who, such as myself, who's been in social media for a minute, who had several thousands of women and hundreds have specifically not only come at, but do it all, whether vocal or virtual. What is your intention? What was your intention once you meet him? What did you think? So even though we know that he's bullshit, we know that there was no way in hell he should have ever responded to his daughter in such a manner, we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. No, because men flirt too. So you're not going to put men in a box and say that you have to be in a certain space. Because this is what they do. And my thing to you men is I'm telling you, don't get shook. Don't be scared. Allow yourself to understand who you are. But monitor who you are with specific people, because these people are sick. These women are sick. Okay? They have ill intentions, and if you don't understand that people send people at you, you're going to get tripped up. You're going to get tripped up. Okay? For real, for real. So you have to understand that. You think I've been in many spaces. I've been in spaces where people will have all type of weird intentions and mask it in anything. I've had clients that turned into some other dumb shit. But you have to be prepared for it, because you have to be honest. Straight up. You do. And then when you are, then you won't have these problems. If people have a vision, whether it's real or not, of who you are, yeah, they're going to be taken aback. That's why I say you only see 1/3 of my understanding and knowledge here. You understand? That's what happened with Malcolm. He was in awe of the Elijah Muhammad, and then found out what was going on, and it crushed him. And instead of the nation holding him down and getting to the root of it and giving him an understanding of what took place and giving him time to heal with it, they didn't. And they chose the side. And it led to Malcolm's demise. Do you understand? So as a man, as men, okay, you need to know and understand that be a man, be who you are as a man, and make sure people have a firm understanding of it. But y'all gonna stop walking on eggshells around women. You're gonna stop that shit. You're gonna look through them. That's what you're gonna do. And that way you will know immediately if these are individuals, if these women are people that should be in your space. Because they're traumatized. They have no understanding of what it is right now. They don't. They don't. Because the foundations, the structures have been pulled right from up under their feet. Because they believed so much in the Ofe and the Ofe structure and how the Ofe would protect them and employ them and allow them to feed their children, that they're not doing it anymore. See, when your belief structure gets pulled from up under you, your foundation is gone, you're not steady. That's traumatizing. That's traumatizing, which is why they at work like this. Just the threat of getting a pink slip, they shiver, they shake. So imagine when somebody's telling you that your church has been false, that your belief in that is false. You're going to be shook that your belief in the financial institution is done, that the belief in your 401k, your social security, your belief in the eggs and the water, that puts people in a panic mode. And the last person they're going to believe in is a black man who didn't provide them with shit up until this point. So when they come in amongst you and around, they don't have no good intention for you at all. None. But what others have for you should not be used as the determining factor of how you view yourself. You understand me? I'm going to flirt. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to manifest myself. And if you play yourself, okay, trying to have some type of ill intent or exposure, there ain't no exposure. I'm a man. I tell y'all, as men, you like women. Don't be apologetic for that shit, because that's the energy they trying to push out through all these false narratives, all these creative boogie monster, boogie man shit of what a man is. They haven't seen a man. Their daddy wasn't a man. Their granddaddy wasn't a man. They don't know what it is. The first 2 or 3 sexual experiences they had was with clowns, so they don't understand it. They haven't been taught what a real man is. That is why you are so easily attacked. That is why the narratives are consistently in motion, because they know that they have never had a true image of a man. Any true image was exterminated. So we build men here. We build men here We build women here. Okay? Straight like that. Ain't no bullshit. Don't be apologizing. Ever. As a man, you like women. And everything, she got a vulva, you like the vulva. That's what you are. You're a man. Don't bow down and cower to that shit. You're supposed to like them. You're supposed to look at them. You're supposed to enjoy their company. Fuck is wrong with a woman to tell you that you're not supposed to? What? Fuck out of here. You go tell that to some simps. Some sus fairies and flamers. You're a whole man. Ever. So she can go ahead with that bullshit. Because if she had true intentions when she met him, she would have bought her goddamn boyfriend that she was in a relationship with, since he was so excited that she was going to meet this man. And maybe the flirting would have not taken place. Because if he was a real dude, he would have flirted with you and your man right there. So you opened the door for that dumb shit by presenting yourself, I guarantee you, as a single fucking woman. And he's a whole single man who's a womanizer on the front and the back. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Anyway, yo, it's too late, man. We've been here hour 50, almost. Shit. We move and see Blaze. But again, we unappreciated. We do what we do. We gonna keep doing what we do. You dig? All my classroom assistants, much appreciation for holding it down as always. You dig? All the subscribers, peace and power, much appreciation. Any new subscribers, that's how we do here. That's what this class is about. We building truth. Soldiers, a nation. We ain't feeding into whatever no old-face set. Those are think tanks weaponizing our people against each other. Get rid of those bullshit narratives. I'm telling you, if y'all don't unite as men and women, y'all finished. I'm telling you. The world is moving at a quick pace now. They stepping things up. Resources are drying up. They burning up spaces. Okay, I'm telling you, this is purposely driven, and you keep not being in a united space with each other, and you will be counted among the casualties. I can guarantee you that. Guarantees. Your ass gonna be meatloaf trying to fight a war by yourself. To those who funded the war effort, again, much appreciation. To those who didn't, we know why you here. We'll see you. Y'all trolls keep coming back too, because y'all gonna get educated. That's all. I'm never distracted by it. Trust and believe that shit. My snipers is on point. Okay, they catch it before I do. We don't have distractions in here. We keep it moving. So tell that to whoever sent you. Okay? Remember, y'all, don't believe in me, believe in my belief in you. Believe in my belief in you. Straight like that. All my truckers, make sure y'all don't drive with cat shit in your eye. Pull over. Stay away from them rest stop dots. Okay? Molly, put your music up in the comments. Molly got some music. Get it. Marshy, put your information in the comments. Okay? I know what you're doing, but still, makeup artist extraordinaire. She makes sure that your makeup is better than your fingers and your hair and your toes, damn it. Okay, see, Blaze, we got it going on. Paperwork good. Check out my Long Island people and make sure we don't deal with no rats. You understand? Paperwork always good. You dig? Move. Keep training them out there in the deep. We going hard, man. Everything gets promoted. Everything gets pushed. That's how you build a nation. Everybody get it. Everybody get it. You understand? And again, I'm telling you, I'm not Jermaine. Do not play. Straight like that, you'll get knocked down. I don't play. I'm unapologetic. Unapologetic. You come around, yeah, no flirting. I don't flirt. All right? Straight like that. He playing games. All that bullshit. That's rhetoric, catchphrases. That's why he keep getting caught. Because he's stupid. Trying to be something he not. Creating some false image. Dumb shit. Yeah. I'm all man. Alexander O'Neal. All true man. Alright? When you need a friend, someone to lean on, how many there thinks fear? All true man. Alright? That's the fuck I'm talking. I don't play. Alright? Again, make sure you come back to class with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Okay? Safely. Keep your eyes open. Understand the energies around you, your spacing. We at war, don't play. Drive safely. Stay away from people. De-escalate. Don't get triggered. If you supposed to get your sessions in. Okay? I'm telling you, be balanced. The perfect warrior is balanced. All right? And 55 gang. Get y'all grades up.